We had never seen a woman at that level leading a ruling party. Ruling parties have always been leadership has always been the men. So it was quite a shocker for me when the information was relayed to me by the president. But I decided, however busy I may be in Embu County, this is an opportunity. I must prove myself. I must work hard, and I just must take the challenge as it came. So here I am now. Yes.
Amazing.
Your Excellency, you've actually talked everything about your political life.
yes.
So, the way we viewed it, you fought against strong men when during the nomination, gubernatorial, and even the election time. Can you kindly just tell us the strategy that you used? And what can you
First, let me say something clearly.
Yes.
It really took the hand of God to get me there. To be honest, it was a tough fight, as I've mentioned. There were moments I really wanted to give up, but I kept moving on. But that really was a proper learning season for me. First, let's say I had the advantage of the fact that I wasn't a new politician. I mean, I had all these 20 years experience. I had lost in 2017 for the same seat. So I knew where I had made mistakes in terms of strategy, in terms of planning, and all that. So what may have worked for me is that, number one, I am one person who likes to look through what I have done before and learn out of it. So I learned out of Jubilee where I had made mistakes, and so I planned properly. This time round, I think I was better organized. There was more clarity on my part of where I want to go and how I want to get there. And God brought in my way amazing teams of people across the county who believed in me and really went out of their way to support me. And I think that was my biggest strength. I had great, strong teams supporting me right across the entire county. And also the fact that now I had won a nomination on a popular party. That is usually very, very important. And I keep telling women, it is always a plus when you fight it out in the party that is popular on the ground, because the party propels you way faster than if you went on a small, little known party or independent. And you see, the party propels you in the sense that if you have a strong presidential candidate, like was the case with our current president, then when he comes on the ground, he gives you some impetus you wouldn't get if you are outside that party. So I think that really, really also helped me. And you'll agree with me that the president really organized his campaigns very well across the country. He knew his teams on the ground. He worked very closely with his teams on the ground. And so you'll find, like when it came to Embu, as the UDA brigade, we really worked closely together and supported each other. And of course, because I wanted to be a governor with some support in the assembly and the party, I also worked closely with the UDA MCA candidates. So that really, really, really helped me to a great extent. Then, of course, there's all the power of God that is not visible, but yet, aligns you with the right people, with the right opportunities, and changes the hearts of men and women, and they vote for you. I think that, for me, is even the epitome of it all. So let's just say, really, God was on my side in a big way. Yes.
Asante.
Yeah.
Governor, 1 year down the line, after you assumed the office of the governor, what is this major decision you've taken and you've just looked at yourself and said, this was it?
For the 1 year,
Yes.
one of the major decisions I made when I came in was in the health sector.
Yes.
I found a totally crippled health sector. There were no drugs in the hospitals, and there was a lot rampant corruption, disinterest, and just don't care attitude by those that ought to be providing services. And I think the decision I made, which were hard decisions, was one, to change the leadership
Yes.
within the department, at the hospital level, at the departmental level. I changed the leadership. And it wasn't easy, because sometimes when it takes you having to move somebody to create room to bring the person you think can carry your vision and agenda, it's never easy.
Yes.
But I'm happy I made those decisions, because the gains we have made in the health sector are really basically due to those decisions I made. And of course, there was serious under budgeting in that health sector. So you find that very little money that is supposed to do so much for the department, and no wonder even there were no drugs, and the pending bills, especially with the KEMSA, were in the hundreds of millions. So that really helped me to start shaping. And let me say, I'm not there yet. I'm still facing very major challenges, because sometimes change that is never taken easy by those that you have to work with. There are people who will keep pushing you back. But the thing is, you know where you want to get. So when you see obstacles, you remove the obstacles. When you see challenges, you deal with the challenges, but you must keep your eye on the ball. And my eye on the ball is that, especially with the universal health care that the president is so passionate about, and that he's launching on the 20th of October. And now yesterday, having launched the community health promoters, a big step for health care, primary health care in Kenya. I have to make sure I'm well prepared to benefit out of whatever that will come out of this whole organization. So it means we have to really prepare ourselves, and I really want to tell the people of Embu County, you've been very supportive, and you've really helped me on making sure that we get this I'm sorry. Can I take water?
Yeah, sure.
Am I still live?
It's normal.
Okay, excuse me, I think I've talked too much today. But what I want to tell the people of Embu, we've come from very far, but we are still very far. And we have to go very far. So what you see as a status is not the end. We still have to do a lot, many things going forward in this sector. The other thing was in our revenue collection. When I came in that was in August, the county had collected about 150 million. And in the budget over 10 years, they kept projecting own source revenue of 900 million. But at no time did they go beyond 500. In fact, the highest they got was 500. Then they kept coming down to 350. So that kept digging a hole, financial year in, year out. And it left us with a hefty pending bill of about 2.2 billion that I took over. So when I came in, it was clear that one way to get out of that hole is to enhance local revenue collection. So I had to also send the leadership home.
Oh.
Yes, I had to, because we were part of the problem. Because a fish rots right from the head. And people had done crazy things. and they didn't care about enhancing revenue. So I'm proud out of that decision, changing systems, insisting on cashless payment system through M-Pesa. I was able to move that revenue from where I found it. At the close of last financial year, we were at 679 million, having been the highest in 10 years of devolution. This financial year, our target is 1 billion Kenya shillings. So again, hard decisions. Because even as we try to enhance revenue collection, we are still facing revenue officers who want to collect money cash. They want to get kickbacks. They still think it can be business as usual. And I kept telling them things have changed. So we are also going to make major changes in ECRA, because to achieve 1 billion target means we have to do things right. We have to get the right people to do the right thing. So that's also an area that I'm really working on, among many other decisions I've had to make since I came to this office, in different sectors, agriculture department. I mean, we are always making decisions on a day-to-day. This responsibility is heavy. The role of a governor is quite heavy. You find you're a doctor, you're a mortician, you're a revenue officer, you're a cleaner. This morning I was complaining because I drove past a street of Embu town and found it hadn't been swept. And I had to call and say, I want to know who is responsible for that particular street. So you become a supervisor of cleaning. So if you want things to go right, you cannot sit back in comfort. You must engage. You must be on the ground. You must be hands-on for things to turn around. And that's something I have decided I must do to move Embu County to the next level. The other thing that I must tell you, counties that don't get too much money like Embu County, I mean, we get about 5.1 billion shareable revenue. And then we have so many needs. You cannot survive without serious engagement and collaboration with the national government. Because even after counties have received money, the bulk of the money is left in Nairobi. And that money is supposed to serve the very same people you're serving. So you have to be extremely aggressive in following up for resources from the national government. So when I hear people saying, oh, I cannot work with national government, we are a county government, we are independent, that is true. But the truth is, you cannot go far if you do not engage meaningfully with the national government. So one of my strategy has been from the day I came in. And I told the president, I'm going to hold your jacket and I won't let it go. Because I knew for me to make a difference in Embu County, I needed President William Ruto and his entire government. And that partnership has brought in very good things to Embu County. Very good things to Embu County. We are doing our markets. Like now, we are doing a 700 million market in Embu town. We have seen the stadium that they have built for us. We are going to do an even bigger stadium at Njokere. We are going to do a big market in Runyenjes. We are doing all the ESP markets that had stalled are now being done courtesy of our collaboration and partnership with the national government. The fertilizer subsidy program is what it is because of our partnership. So when I hear people saying, oh, we want to be left alone, I heard the other day Raila Odinga saying, oh, leave counties, you are taking over responsibilities of counties. Where am I going to get 700 million to build a market with 5.1 and almost 3 million going to wage bill? I have to work with the national government. So I want to tell the people of Embu, please understand me. When you see me hanging near the president, it's because I must deliver for you. And one way of delivering to you, the people of Embu, is working closely with the national government. And I feel that national government is my government.
Absolutely.
I was part and parcel of forming it. So there's no difference for me between the national government and county government. We are one big government. Yes.
Governor, you invited the president here for the launch of the newborn unit at Embu Level 5.
Yes, yes.
How momentous and significant is that in the whole management of maternal health and general health of
I can tell you,
yes.
I can tell you that the first time I went to the maternity wing of Level 5,
Yes.
I was in shock at the conditions within which the mothers were delivering.
Mm-hmm.
There were no delivery beds. There was only one very bad one.
Mm.
The room where the women were delivering was dark and looking like a shade of sorts. The kind of place when you go to deliver, you are not even sure whether you live there alive with your baby. And as a woman, when I went there, I got really touched. And I told myself, if there's one thing I must achieve, I really must improve on this condition. So what I did, I invited the Minister for Health, Susan, to come to Embu. And I made sure I took her to Embu Level 5. And not just the hospital, but specifically to the maternity. And being a woman, I knew she'd resonate with what I felt about it. And she helped me with money. And we came and, renovated the entire maternity wing and then the newborn unit. Now they are in very beautiful baby cots. The place is vibrant. Now mothers, we were doing about 50 mothers a month. Now we are doing over 150. So that in itself, because women want to deliver in a good place. She may be coming from the village, but she wants to go to a place that first gives her confidence that you're in safe hands. And I'm glad we've been able to do that. We still have a lot of work in that hospital. And we are planning to do a cancer center. We are planning to do an entire new outpatient department. So plans are underway. And we are hoping that we can be able to make health sector a really vibrant sector in Embu. Already, when I came in, there was like 46 incomplete health facilities, right from level 2 all the way to level 4. Very many. And I'm glad that we are completing most of them right now. We'll start to open quite a number, operationalize quite a number. We continue. We have agreed with the MCAs that we are not going to start any new health facility until we complete the unfinished ones.
Yes.
Once those are complete, then we look at the gaps. And unfortunately, most of those facilities were in Mbarire North, Mbarire South. And that is where access to health services is also a big challenge. So we are working at it. We are also going to be building a new level 4 hospital in the new sub-county called Mwea. And we are also upgrading certain level 3s into level 4s so that we make health even much more accessible to people. Yeah.
Amazing. Governor, we realize that you run a vibrant county that has a huge focus on agriculture.
Yes.
Talk about tea, coffee, macadamia.
Yes.
Why that interest in that sector?
The interest in the agriculture sector is because, as you rightly put it, Embu County, 80% depends on agriculture.
Yes.
And that is why I am extremely passionate on matters coffee, extremely passionate on matters tea, extremely passionate on matters macadamia, because that is really the backbone of the people of Embu County. And among other farm produce. And that is why I have embraced the new program by the president of building a county aggregation and industrial park.
Yes.
Because what has been happening in Kenya is farmers work very hard in their farms. They produce, but they have challenges in market markets for their produce.
Yes.
And so the KIPE provides a perfect opportunity of creating market linkages for the farmers. First of all, by aggregating the produce, then doing value addition where you need to, and then selling the produce wherever it will be, whether it's in other counties, because we are going to work very closely across counties so that we know a particular county is in need of avocado and we have plenty, we supply. We know a particular area, we also get international markets. And this we are working very closely with the Department of Trade. So this for me is a life-changing project. If we do it right and we put our energies there, believe you me, we are going to empower the farmer. In the case of Embu, we are going to be focusing, of course, is tea and coffee. Coffee is being dealt with in the reforms that are being pushed right now through the Deputy President's office. And we are hoping that we can finally get to market our coffee directly and reduce the many middlemen that are between the farmer and the market. The same with tea. But tea, one of the things we are looking at is how do we get into orthodox tea? Orthodox tea earns more money. In fact, the rates that have come out, you see that the factories that embraced orthodox tea and were able to install the lines for processing orthodox tea have had better earnings than those without orthodox tea. So we are looking at how to make sure there's orthodox tea. We are able to produce orthodox tea as Embu County. We have 3 key factories. We are also looking at how to improve the infrastructure of our coffee factories by bringing in eco-pulpers that help to do the pulping of coffee at a cheaper and more efficient way. And then doing better quality for our coffee by making sure farmers have inputs. And once we do that, then we are able to get better prices. But beyond tea and coffee, we are looking at avocado, we are looking at mango, we are looking at macadamia, we are looking at ndengu, which is plenty in Mbarire South. We are looking at honey. And Embu County is lucky we have honey from the forest, Mount Kenya forest. We have honey on the lower lands, and it's very good quality of both sides. So also we want to do value addition on honey. We want to look at milk processing. So there are great plans that we have. So what are we doing in preparation for these KIPEs? Because if you don't prepare your infrastructure in preparation for the KIPE, because it's a huge project worth $500 million, where the president has put in 250 million, county government has put in 250 million. So we then as a county must begin to prepare ourselves for that KIPE by ensuring we have small aggregation centers at the village level where farmers know they can be bringing their produce. It is picked from there and taken to the aggregation, the county aggregation in the industrial park. If we do that, and we do that in every county, Kenya will feed itself and feed the world because we have that capacity. Coupled with the mega dams that the president is planning to do in every county. In the case of Embu, we have 3 and they have all been taken up. 2 have already been advertised, Toshi and Kamumo. Kamumo is actually very advanced. And then we have Dambana. So if we have those dams done and we have KIPEs, we have no excuse going forward of being food insecure as a nation. And having farmers that don't have money in the pocket. We talked about pesa mfukoni. We must make it happen. Deliberately so. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, Governor, you were ranked the other day as a top governor out of the 47. Quite momentous. We know the Council of Governors is dominated by male governors. You lead a county that is on the rise. How was it possible for you to pull this?
First of all, let me say I was very surprised because I didn't know about it. But I'll tell people where I took Embu from was so low. So we were on our lowest as a county. So because I came with a lot of, with a bang,
Yes.
and I hit the ground running. The things I was able to do, I think, really also impressed the people. Because from one moment, we have no drugs. You go to hospital, you can't even get a Panadol. The next time you're going, you can get Panadol, you can get antibiotics, you can get tested. Those changes must be what really made the county rank me that highly. Because we were coming from a very, very low point, I must admit. And so whatever I did was having major impact. And people had this sigh of relief. Finally, something good is happening in Embu County. Finally, we have a government that is responsive to our needs. And let me say, we are not there yet. What is ahead is much more than what we've done. And so I don't want to get into a comfort zone and get all excited and think, oh, I'm number one, I've done very well, and so, niko sawa. No. In fact, what is ahead is much more. The work ahead is much more than what we've done. So it just means that we have to shift the gear,
Yes.
and move higher and keep going and keep going and keep going. And by the way, women leaders are judged with a higher bar than the male leaders. And so within the women governors, we have a sort of a silent agreement that we must deliver,
Yes.
that we must do things right, that the 7 of us must work so well, because if we fail, we'll have failed a whole generation of younger women who will come after us. So we must make it happen. And we have no choice. So we are all working very hard as the women governors. I know the men are also working very hard. But we are working very, very hard because we want to leave a legacy that will make it easier for any woman to run. And people say, yeah, actually, women make a difference. And we've seen those that have been there before, what they have done for their counties. So I know if I perform well in Embu, the impact will not just be to the girl child of Embu,
Yes.
who might want to be governor later after I've left, but it will also be to the girl child in Kirinyaga, in Tharaka-Nithi, in Meru, wherever, because of that. For example, I'll tell you for a fact,
Yes.
Anne Waigoro's performance had a lot of impact on my candidature.
Oh, amazing.
Because people would say, we are all running to Kirinyaga to the hospital. Come and fix our hospitals like Anne has fixed her hospitals. So you like it or not, female leadership has a way of impacting on other female leaders. And so we must work hard. We have no choice. Our choice is, there's no choice at all. Yes.
Your Excellency, the party that you lead, UDA, will be having a women congress in a couple of weeks. What are your expectations for this conference?
First, in this conference, remember before elections, we had the president sign the Women's Charter.
Absolutely.
And he has been implementing the Women's Charter to a great extent. But being the only first year, there's still a lot more to be achieved. So we want this Congress to be the one that comes to look at the achievements of the Women's Charter and what remains to be done. Of course, tell him thank you for this far you've gone, but there's so much more still waiting for implementation.
Yes.
And the reason we are doing this, we don't want that was just a political document that was being signed to hoodwink women to support our presidential candidates. We want them to know that the president was committed to this charter. And so our business is to keep reminding him, hey, thank you, you've done this well so far, but we have so far to go. And that's one. Number two, we want to use that opportunity for the women in the party to come and know what the government is doing in different sectors, and how can the women benefit out of it. We want the women who come to the Congress, who are all the elected women in the country, and the nominated MCAs, MPs, plus our women leaders who played a key role in our campaigns, to come and understand these programs and find the opportunities available for the women of Kenya, and become ambassadors for the president on the ground, so that we can come and tell women, look, there's this Hustler program by Susan of MSMEs.
Yes.
You can benefit from them if you do 1, 2, 3, 4. There's ACPO. How much of government business is going to women? If me here at the county, I'm having to really push, and I've told each CC that in their performance contract, I want to see 30% of their procurement plans going to women, youth, and persons with disability. The same is happening nationally. We want to be able to monitor that, so that women can benefit from government businesses. Then, of course, we want to use that opportunity to consolidate the women gains and plan for the future, and see how we can encourage women to take up leadership roles. We want the party to be a nursery for building and nurturing women leaders, so that they can be able to go for positions, elective positions. We want a nominated MCA to be able to run for elective position in the next elections. So we are keen also on achieving the not more than 2/3 gender rule without having to have nominations or top-up lists and all that. We are very keen as a party. But most importantly also, you remember we are going to go in for grassroots elections, and they're happening in December. So we want the women to come out and seek for these elective positions at the grassroots. We want to make sure at the ward level we have women coming out and seeking for elective positions at the polling station, at the ward level, at the constituency, at the county, all the way to national. Because this must be a party that embraces women. And you'll agree with me, the biggest support for President William Ruto came from women.
Yes.
Came from women. So this is a party for women and men also. But we want women to feel at home in their party. So that's the purpose of the Women Congress that we are holding on the 13th of October. Yeah.
Your Excellency, before I give to my colleague, you being the current chairperson of the ruling party, UDA, we call it, how do you engage, how do you manage to juggle between Embu County and party matters?
Good question. It's not easy. I must admit, it's not easy, because I don't want to fail either side. So I have to be available for the party when I'm required. Even when I'm not required, I must be there to provide leadership. And I must also be very available for the people of Embu County. Because for me to be the chair, it took the Embu people to bring me to the table. And so it's not been easy being able to balance all that, coupled with the talks that we are now having, the National Dialogue Committee. So I have had to really balance out, and to be honest, I don't have a life. I just do what you see me doing, because I have to now shuttle between Nairobi, Embu, as many times as 3-4 times in a week, just to make sure I'm able to do my things in Embu, because I can't fail the people of Embu, but also I can't fail the party. It's a position I take with a lot of humility, and one that I want to do the best, because I would want that in future we have more female chairs of political parties. Yes.
Your Excellency, from being nominated, before you, of course, you ran for office, you are nominated by Jubilee. The question is, how does it feel working with President William Ruto? And the whole notion that there has been a feeling that William Ruto has a preference for women leaders. Those are the party level and national level. Do you feel that those feelings are true, or from your own opinion?
Well, let me say this, and this started right before elections. He's extremely supportive of women leaders, extremely. And he was very determined to deliver some women governors.
Yes.
Very determined. So, he would even call you and ask you, I hear you're in Nairobi, what are you doing? Can you go back and campaign? Put on your rubbers, go to the village and look for votes. And he pushed us, really pushed us. What I can say about President William Ruto, he's a worker, a serious worker. He's hands-on. He follows through his plans personally. And so if you can't keep up with his speed, then you'll fall on the wayside. And he is very supportive of a leader who he feels is as hardworking as him or even better.
Yes.
He'll support you if he realizes you have a plan, you're focused, and you're ready to go the extra mile. He will support you. And he has been very, very supportive. He's a team player. I'll tell you that even listening to second-term governors, they will tell you that they are now with a president who they can sit and talk matters development in the counties. Before that never used to happen. He's able to sit with us and tell us, hey, I have these resources. Can we partner? That never used to happen. And I like the fact that he doesn't just engage those of us in government, he also engages those in the opposition. And so they were afraid maybe he won't notice them, he won't work with them, but he's working with them. And I think that is very, very important, because it's the essence of being able to get development to every corner of the country. And so he's who he is. You have to work hard like he does, or even better, or you fall on the wayside. And when he sees you slacking, and in fact he asks you, where kanini unapoteza network? He asks you that. So, and if he sees you're not doing what you ought to do, he'll tell you to your face. So he's and he has a way that he has very high expectations of each one of us, that he has a bar for all of us that we must meet. And that has helped us, really work even harder. Yeah.
Good. Your Excellency, your county is hosting the World Tourism Day.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Would you kindly talk about it?
As I mentioned earlier,
Yes.
I was Assistant Minister for Tourism for 5 years.
Yes.
And when I was Assistant Minister of Tourism, I did realize that within the Mount Kenya Tourism Circuit, which consists of, Laikipia, Nyandarua, Meru, Nyeri, Embu was nowhere in that circuit. Why? Because we didn't have any tourism products to sell. So when I was Assistant Minister, I commissioned a study on creating an alternative route to climbing Mount Kenya, so that you don't have to go to Nanyuki to get to Mount Kenya. And it turned out to be the easiest route and faster. And so when I came into office, I said, I must make this product work. But you can't just sell one product.
Yes.
You have to develop several products that you can be able to make a tourist, whether a local and international tourist, they want to come and be able to do several things. So we began the process of identifying and developing our tourism products. So I visited the Minister for Tourism, Madam Malonza, very early in the term. I would say early this year, or was it late last year? And I went with my entire team in tourism. And she was very excited.
Yes.
She said, now that you're very interested in this thing, we have the International Tourism Day. I would be very happy to come and do it in your county. And of course, that was music to my ears. And by the way, that day, although it will be a culmination of many, many other, we had a whole tourism week event, has made us work very hard in developing our tourism products. Saturday, we were in a Mwea Game Reserve the whole day. We started with a marathon, and then we went into the sundowner in the evening with country music, which turned out to be a lot of fun. And I didn't know the people of Embu really love such moments. And we had a lot of fun. But what are we doing in Mwea? We want Kenyans to know that there's a game reserve not too far away from Nairobi. They can come, spend a night on the campsite, and see the wildlife, and enjoy, and then go home. And Embu is not far from Nairobi. In fact, from Nairobi to Mwea Game Reserve, the maximum time you spend is 2 hours. I'm glad that the road is one of those earmarked for tarmacking by President Ruto, and used to mention it all the time during the campaigns. So once that road is done, it will make things even so much easier for us. So we are working closely with KWS. We already have a master plan and a framework of engagement with them. And we want that to be the major product that we can sell. Then you can then come, and then we also are doing a lot of agri-tourism. You know, you'll find there's a tourist, an international tourist, who's never seen a tea bush. Another one has never seen a coffee tree. So we want them to come and hear the coffee or the tea story and experience it. Go to the farm, be taught how we pick the tea, take you to the tea buying center, see how we do it, take you to our factories. We have 3 of them. Go and hear, learn the tea story, see how it's done. And then you pay us a little money, and we are left with something. We also want to do the same on the coffee. And so we're also looking at agrotourism or agritourism as a product that is very key for us. The other product that we want to sell is sports tourism. And that's why Njukiri stadium that the president wants to construct for us is key, because you need to know, even before people went to Iten for high altitude training, they used to do it right here in Embu at Kegari. And so we want to make sure that that stadium doesn't just deal with the football, but it encompasses all the other sports. And then we can have a proper training camp with hostels, and then we can also raise revenue out of it as a county. So the sports tourism for us is also very, very key. Amongst other tourism sites that we have picked across the county, you know, we have a planetarium, the best in the country, where you can just go lie at the top of the hill, flat, and watch the most beautiful galaxy of stars. And that we know many people would love, even for therapy. And I will personally be going there when things get very hot here and come back re-energized. So we have opportunities, we have great falls, we have a lot to show in Embu County. So tourism for us is key. Yeah. So tomorrow we have the World Tourism Day. We have people from all over the country coming to showcase their tourism products, and we'll also showcase ours here. We'll show our culture. We have a very rich culture. So it will be an amazing day with everybody in the tourism sector being here in Embu County. And so I want to welcome everyone. Please come to Embu County tomorrow for the World Tourism Day. Yes.
Governor, as we wrap up, 24 years, more than 20 years, I mean,
yes.
In Bunge, that young woman sitting somewhere in one corner of this republic, afraid, probably facing stigmatization, not so sure whether she should venture into active politics or not. What is that one word for her?
Get out of that corner. Come and do it, because the others before you, like me and many others who've done it and made it, we have paved the way for you. Please come. And you know, you can only know what you're dealing with when you face it. You will never know what you're dealing with when you're afraid. Come and do it even if you have to do it afraid. That's what courage is all about. Doing it even if you have to do it afraid. Yes. So come out of your corner. Come, and we are ready to mentor. We are ready to mentor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Finally, Your Excellency, the future of Embu County, where do you see it?
Let me tell you, where we are as a county right now, I can confidently say we're on the right trajectory. There's so many good things that are aligned in favor of Embu County. A great leadership in Embu County, and not just about me, but the whole spectrum of politicians in Embu County are so committed to unity, to working together, and that in itself is a good opportunity for the county. And also the goodwill of the people. There's a lot of goodwill by the people. They are happy and they are saying, move on, we are happy, keep it up. Then, of course, there's a national government that loves Embu County. To be honest with you, the president and the deputy president, anything Embu, they are there supporting. Because we also gave them a lot of support when they needed it most. So I see Embu County growing. I see Embu County shining amongst many other counties. And I see Embu County getting opportunities that we've never had before. Because there's so much potential in this county called Embu. We just need to tap it, harness it, and get it to where we want it to go. And so I believe that 10 years from now, Embu County will be a very different county. And I am extremely positive about that. Extremely positive about the future of Embu County. We are a small county, but we'll be a big giant amongst the many counties. We will be a serious giant. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure talking to you people. Keep it up, UDA. Keep pushing the women. Asante.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thank
People
you.
of Embu are happy.
Thank you.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
And we must congratulate them for electing you as their governor.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have a roadmap.
Yes.
And like you've said, 10 years.
Yes.
Embu will be a giant.
They tell me that they should have done this earlier.
Oh, amazing.
But it's never easy for a woman to convince. But, you know, everything comes at its own time and purpose.
Yes.
God's time is the best time. So we are happy with this far we've gone. And I want to appreciate the people of Embu for the support they are offering to this government. Yes. Asante. Thank you.
Yes,
How much time have we taken?